Oh, we're going to do about dessert. We're just going to order it.
We're just going to have to get jukes on it.
Oh, lemon.
Sorry, you do not know the etiquette of the podcast.
I mean, I do know the etiquette of the podcast. I was just wondering, like, why are you walking away looking all sheepish and shit?
Because I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yeah.
That's not fair. You didn't even do a countdown.
You want to do it one more time?
No, whatever. I see the games we're playing here. I'm watching you. I tried to go the other way, but it's all worked out. I was like, ha, I've got you. You're not going to outsmart the devil.
And then the chat was like, obstacle.
Literally.
Access denied.
And then I just looked to my left and you're already gone out of the room and I was just like, hello, darkness, my old friend. To be fair, you have to cheat to beat me anyway, because I'm rapid.
It's true. Can't even deny it.
It's well played. It's well played.
Thank you. Thank you. I pride myself, in winning.
Always winning. It must be if you've got me.
Oh, it's true.
She knows. You see how she knows? She doesn't deny this thing. It's not a joke when I say it. She is lucky, you know?
I got the heart right here, you know?
Hey, this is not as big as my heart for you, though, eh?
Hey!
All these years, I'm still a smooth talker, you know? I mean, I can go if you want me to go.
No, never.
Fine.
So, what's the crack, honey?
Well, I've got something funny for you today. We'll switch it up a little bit before we get into the more serious stuff that we don't take too seriously because, you know, life's one big joke these days, and if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Literally. Is he ready? Are you sure?
I'm ready.
It's reading time, so I just need to get my reading glasses out. I'm going to read it out to you. I want your opinion on the matter.
Just going to get my listening ears on.
Definitely. Just got to clear my throat because, you know, we're doing Ramadan, so I can't have a nice cool glass of water to do so. So it's... All right. You ready? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alan, you ready? Alan, bro, what's happened? So deflated. Bro, we're going to Ibiza in 3 weeks, mate.
Sort it out, mate.
Got to inflate him quickly. No? You're not going to puff him up? He's hanging on, look at him.
Sorry, Alan, I'll sort you out.
You got to pull the thing out.
Pull the thing out. That's what I was afraid of. Now it's going to be everywhere. I see what you've done here, sir.
Do you want me to do it? I meant this look.
Oh, I did not know that's how
Have you never blown him up like that?
I did not know. That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense.
This is why men are men and women are women.
And I'm okay with that.
Let's see how long it lasts. All right, positions please. Alan, you're back in the room, yeah? So, I'm on administrative leave from teaching and will likely get fired. That's the first slide. You ready? So,
I'm hooked.
I'm a rare male kindergarten teacher. That means nursery, right?
I think so, yeah.
Kindergarten. It's even spelled weird. I think it's a German word. Teacher, and I hate to admit it, but I lost my temper with my students. There are 5 new Canadian students who are 8 years old. That's not kindergarten, is it? All from Somalia, and they were placed in my class to help them learn English, as you do. They had not been in an educational setting before, coming to Canada, so their behaviour was off the charts. Plus, they all have trauma and some developmental disabilities that make them, in my opinion, terrifying to be around. So this man was scared of 8-year-olds.
It sounds that way so far.
I'm just going to throw it out there before we read on. Is it potentially because they're, I don't know, black? Because what grown man is scared of 8-year-old children, no matter what disability they have or how naughty they are? Sorry, I'm meant to be reading this to you. I'll continue. So, in my opinion, terrifying to be around, let alone teach. And each one of them has high anxiety, no wonder, high needs parents who are extremely hard to deal with and require translation services. After 100 days of this nonsense, I finally lost my mind. 2 of the kids attacked a giant stuffed bear I had brought in to celebrate Pride. I bought Thurston off of eBay. I'm guessing that's the name of the bear that he's named. Also, Pride Bear in a nursery, in a kindergarten. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Anyways, these little brats jumped on the bear and started stabbing it with scissors.
Oh, no.
Then they amputated his left leg. All of the other students started shrieking, and the aides just stood there like idiots. Then when I ran over to intervene, one of the kids stabbed me in the leg. Sounds like you deserved it, brother, with scissors. Needless to say, I reacted. Oh no, this is where it's gonna get good. You ready? And picked him up and threw him over my head and into a bunch of desks.
Why did he go WWE?
I'm just trying to picture it in my head. This grown man, for some reason he's fat, bald.
He's come over his fear of these 8-year-olds. He's gone the other way.
Come his fear. These 8-year-olds, they pushed him over the head by tearing Thurston apart, and he snapped and thought, fuck it, you're going across the room into the desk. Cold Stone Stunner in this bitch. Oh my god. That's not all. So, threw a bunch of them into the desks. We continue. He was seriously injured. Then I slapped the other culprit.
Oh, no.
Just one question though. Was it a backhand or was it a front slap? Because like backhands don't really hurt, I feel like. It's just like a flick. But if it was a full across the face maneuver on an 8-year-old, I'm guessing that kid went flying into desks as well. Do you know what I mean?
You know he's been dreaming about that moment for 100 days.
Like, bro, you recognize that these kids have trauma. Don't add to the problem. Like this is, you know, when like you go on Netflix and you got the serial killer documentaries. These kids will be on it, and it would be like, this is where it all started. I was just an 8-year-old boy in kindergarten, alone,
trying to heal from my trauma,
afraid,
looking for a safe space,
not speaking the language, not looking like the people of the land. Next thing I know, I'm getting thrown over into a bunch of desks. At this point, it was war. I swore to never trust anybody ever again. Then I slapped the other culprit. I'm guessing this guy's lost his job. Let's see.
He has to.
I didn't know what to do after I realised what I'd done, so I ran to get the principal. But then my teaching aides told him I went berserk for no reason and called the police. I was escorted from the premises and the cops are investigating. I'm probably getting charged and then disciplined and fired. I'm so appalled that I've been sold out like this and I don't know what to do. The union...
Sold out? You slapped an 8-year-old?
Sold out to who? Social services and the police, bro. You fucking hit a kid.
You didn't just hit a kid, you went WWE on him.
Even by African standards, you can't slap someone else's kid. Oh my god. The union isn't supporting me. I wonder why at all. I'd appreciate any advice y'all can give. The y'all tells me he's southern. Adds to my earlier hypothesis. Some comments. I don't know what I'm getting myself into, so take this question with a grain of salt, but after you Kobe'd the first kid, did you need to slap another one? You should stop blaming literal children here or their parents. You fucked up, dude.
And also, what did he say about like, oh, they need translation? Yeah, of course they're going to need translation.
They've come from a different country.
Like, why is that even a talking point? Obviously, that annoyed him as well, it seems. He's been hating on him since day one.
Day one hater. Probably borderline, underlying / upfront racist as well.
Yeah, they have a lot of those over there.
Apparently so. The greatest country in the world. That's messed up though. Them kids are he's recognised all their problems.
Yeah.
And
let me add something to this.
Let me add to it, and then whilst I've added to it, blame what I've done on them.
He was like, hold my stuff.
just because they cut up a bear. I mean, yeah, cool, bit peak, but they're kids.
I get that one of them stabbed him with scissors,
But
but it can't have been that bad. And also, like, again, doesn't justify the disproportionate reaction. Like,
they're
how
kids.
hard is it to stop a kid?
They're kids, and it's kindergarten, so I'm pretty sure there would have been safety scissors. So when he says stabbed, does he mean like lightly grazed?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Do you know what I
thinking.
mean? They're not
'cause
going to be fucking kitchen scissors, are they?
Yeah, and also how much energy and strength has an 8-year-old got that they would like even like severely injure you? Because he didn't mention anything about being severely injured. Because if he had, then that would be like in his locker to be like, oh, this is my defense.
But the kid's severely injured,
he's traumatized.
and it seemed like he's happy about it. To be honest,
I told you he's been thinking about slapping him for 100 days.
Because he was seriously injured. Then I slapped the other culprit. Like, he just moves on like nothing. Like, that's just a normal sentence. You threw a kid across the room into some desks, an 8-year-old. Moving on now, and I slapped the other culprit. You slapped the other. What do you mean the other culprit? Like, what are you trying to say? He deserved the slap.
Yeah. Culprit as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's a little criminal for cutting up your teddy that you've named Fernston. You're a grown man, bro.
How are you naming teddies?
Like, what's wrong with you?
Obviously, really loved his teddy.
It's worrying, isn't it?
I mean, I don't really think you can. Yeah, sending kids to school is a solid no from me.
But the thing is, as well, it just highlights the failure of the state. Like, these kids, so needy in the sense that they need extra attention. Why have you given them to someone that clearly isn't equipped to look after them? They can't even speak the language. How are you putting kids that don't speak the language in a classroom of English?
And you know what? Especially if their
teacher?
trauma's really that bad, then really they should be like in a smaller group with more one-on-one attention.
With like a specialized teacher, or not even a teacher, specialized therapist or someone,
or like counselor or something. Yeah,
like someone that has the capability to teach them a few things, but they're not really there to go through school. It's more like we need to give you therapy, kids, but we're not going to let you know it's therapy.
Yeah, and help them integrate into the culture and society there. Because imagine how traumatizing it is moving from like one country to another when you're a kid. And I imagine I'm guessing it's from Somalia, so I imagine the situation wasn't great that they were trying to leave behind. So,
his words, war-torn country or something. Did he not mention it?
Or did he?
Oh,
so
I just added that.
That makes it even worse.
Essentially, I might have just added that in my head because of just thoughts of Somalia. That's what it is. That and pirates. It is known for pirates, isn't it?
I can see that.
The film. I am the captain now. Look at me. They're Somalian.
Yeah,
based on the real film.
A boat like that.
Yeah, they're on it. When you think of pirates, you think like Blackbeard and like wooden legs and parrots and like chest full of gold.
But really, they're just like the ninjas of the sea.
Robin Hoods of the sea. Real pirates have little rowboats with like souped up engines. They find the cargo ships that have oil on them, hijack them, take them back to Somalia, keep the whole crew hostage and ransom to whichever country they come from. And they don't release until they get like a couple of million for it.
And they're like, "Thanks, guys. Literally, you can have it back now."
Yeah, literally. It's like it's a decent little business. I wouldn't do it myself because most of them do end up dead, either by the sea or by the Coast Guard. But I know.
But it could be like a little. You know how you pretend to be a pirate for like a day, and you go to like there's like events they do where you can pretend you've gone to jail for the day or something, like on Apprentice. Someone should create a version of that so you can experience it, but like you don't die.
I think there is that experience.
No way.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I know they do it for like in America. They do it for like kids that have like offended to try and like I think it's called like Scared Straight program or something. So that they take kids to like to prisons, and I guess they get some of like the prison people, prisoners, prison people. I'm being politically correct today. It's prison people. Oh my god, the program has got me. It's got
You've been indoctrinated.
Oh my god. They like obviously get the prisoners on board, and they basically put like the kids in the cell with the prisoners, and the prisoners like scare the shit out of them basically. To be honest, I don't know how they got away with it. It's quite like the kids come out like absolutely traumatized for the whole thing.
Wait, so the prisoners can interact with the kids?
Yeah.
How is that allowed?
It
Is
must
that
be
not?
like some program where, like, you guys do this for us,
But
and
I'm
we'll
sorry,
give you
I'm
extra
sorry, I'm
like
sorry, I'm
yard
sorry, I'm sorry.
time.
This doesn't make sense to me because, well, my understanding is that once you come out of prison, you can't even get any job
Yeah.
because of your
Oh, they're
criminal
still in
record.
prison.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
still, they're criminals. So
Yeah,
why are
yeah.
they allowed near children?
It's America.
America is a big fat question mark. I do not understand.
It's America. It's the greatest country in the world. Oh.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, once we're done, we'll find some time. I'll find it. We'll watch it. It's funny.
No way.
It's so bad.
I mean, I can see the thought behind it. Just casually yawning, a little bit
Keeping
tired.
you up.
No, not even. I just
No, not
not
even.
even. I can see what I can understand the thought behind it, but just the concept is a bit strange. Like, what if the person's a pedo?
I'm guessing they wouldn't put them with pedos. They just put them with like gang members and drug dealers and violent criminals, that sort of thing, burglars.
But what if they recruit them?
Well, that's the whole
This is
point.
silly.
The kids are in there because they want the gang life, innit? And then they see the gang life gets them here, and they're like, "No, fuck this! I'm going straight."
I don't want gang life anymore.
Rather than that, tackling the problem as to why are these kids doing these crimes in the first place. we'll just scare them with other criminals that have been put in prison. That'll work.
Yeah. Until it doesn't, and they think it's really cool.
But like
Yeah,
the thing
yeah,
is,
man. I went to prison for like a day, but I'm gonna go back for longer.
like a kid growing up in the ghetto that's got into crime gets taken to prison and shown that goes back to the ghetto is scared of the prison and the prisoner and the experience, let's say, but their environment hasn't changed.
Mm.
So they're still in the gang that they're in. They're still doing they still need their mum's still struggling
Yeah.
to pay rent.
Yeah.
Like they have got
So
no
wouldn't it be better
dad.
to spend the money from that program on helping the kids and
Something in the local community.
mitigating like what's causing them to end up in these situations? I mean, like, oh, cool. So you have too much free time on your hands.
Yeah.
Let's start a different program, not one where you go to jail, but one where you actually, we build on some interests that you have that are not gang related.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be interested in some music or some sports, or maybe you want to do art.
Literally. Put them in like an apprenticeship program or something, teach them a skill that they can use, and then when they get like to of age, they can work in that field.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, Paris and Pearls for president.
Literally, I was about to say we should be run the country.
We should be.
I mean, maybe we will.
Nah, fuck that.
Who knows?
It's too much stress.
Look, at one point, it's probably going to be like, who can get the most Instagram followers? If you get the most, you can run the country.
That's kind of what happened to Trump, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, it's a popularity contest.
Yeah, like my guy was like a social media businessman, really, and he became president of the United States.
You had Kanye West running, and you also had who else ran? That was like, did The Rock run, or he wanted to run?
Dwayne Johnson.
He's just probably CIA. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he's definitely CIA.
I read that. Did I read this somewhere? I feel like I read somewhere, or did I watch it on something where they talked about like how some of these actors are actually CIA agents because they're acting and making movies. They can go anywhere in the world undercover.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because if they were to go as the CIA, they won't be allowed. But if they're going as actors, it's actually all right.
Yeah.
So they have to get approved, and then they can do their little missions and stuff and get a little intel.
Whilst like shooting the shots, shagging the honeys, real rock stars. We don't do those signs.
Huh?
We don't do those signs. Do you have something for me?
Yes, I do.
Thanks.
I got one for you. Okay. I'm just going to go straight into it.
Just jump straight in.
Straight into it.
No lube.
So this story happened a few days ago, and the things have been kind of tense between me and my girlfriend since then. So the thought occurred to me to come here and see whether maybe I should apologise, or she should, or whatever. So every now and then, when I need to de-stress, I like to go to the spa near my house. Things have been pretty stressful at work recently, so a few nights ago I went there with my girlfriend.
Good. Went with the girlfriend. It's not one of those sexy spas.
Yeah.
Good. That was the first question mark I had.
Things have been pretty stressful at work recently. So I went with my girlfriend. I'm not really big on drinking, but they have the best samosas, which are my go-to. Never come across a bar that sells samosas. Like, this is interesting. So I ordered a bunch, maybe like 15 or so. Oh, he went in.
I'm guessing they're small samosas because if they're big ones,
Yeah, they're not like the Asian ones. I'm guessing
yeah,
they're probably
they
like
must have been
little,
like little.
little cute ones. It's maybe like 15 or so for me and my girlfriend to share, but I guess she's not big on samosas, so I have to do most of the work eating them. Obviously, so hard done by. We're seated at the
Been there.
bar for maybe 20. I mean, I do give my food very often, it's true. We're seated at the bar for maybe 20 minutes or so when some guy comes up and sits down next to her on the opposite side from me. He strikes up a conversation with her, but I didn't really say anything because I was working my way through my third samosa. After a while, they really start drying out your mouth, and you need to kind of take breaks in between.
It's true.
So I was trying
I'm
to
with the guy so far on this story.
So I was trying to get through all of the samosas with no help from her. Oh, what a bitch!
It's just like it's just unnecessary. Like, why won't you help your man out? He's obviously struggling. You know how
She's so
dry
horrible.
samosas can get.
Exactly. At least get him a drink or something,
Like, there's not even any mention of like a sweet chili dip on the side
or like a little mint sauce,
or a little mint sauce. So like, yeah, my guy's like Gandhi's flip out here. Do you know what I mean? Sahara Desert, like, poor man.
I'm still focused on trying to get through all of the samosas that I paid for when girlfriend nudges me and tells me we need to go home and feed the dog. I ask her what she's talking about and point out that we don't even have a dog, and then ask her politely not to interrupt me whilst I'm trying to de-stress. She then excuses herself to the
Wait,
bathroom.
so this is the girlfriend?
Yeah, don't bother me whilst I'm trying to de-stress. Or we don't have a dog, honey.
Can you imagine? Baby, you okay? Don't bother me whilst I'm trying to distress.
I would literally.
You literally what?
I would literally jump on the sofa till you finish. Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet?
You're making my stress worse.
No, I'll just make you do the happy dance.
Happy dance coming soon.
She then excuses herself to the bathroom, so luckily I don't hear from her for another 30 minutes or so. Bro, are you sure you want a girlfriend? Because at the minute you're making it sound like a real inconvenience.
Isn't it? Didn't help you with the croissant? The croissant?
The croissant? Where is your mind, sir? We're in India, not France.
I'm globetrotting all over the world. Just pastry. They melt in your mouth. Tasty. I could probably eat about 15 of both. God.
So I don't hear from her for another 30 minutes or so until she comes back, and then by then the guy's gone and I'm nearly done with the samosas, so we finish up and get going. On the car ride home, girlfriend starts yelling at me and calling me stupid and telling me the guy next to her was making her feel uncomfortable and that she wanted to go home earlier. I asked her why she didn't just tell me that, and then that if the guy was being a problem, that she could have gotten the manager to kick him out, and that she's an adult and can deal with these things herself. Also, I said it was really unfair of her to expect me to just waste all the samosas that I paid good money for over some stranger, and that if she had helped me eat them, then we would have probably been able to leave sooner. To which she responded by calling me an asshole and saying I valued a few samosas more than her, which I think is unfair because I didn't say that she was just putting words in my mouth.
I mean, sometimes you don't have to say things, though. Your actions speak volumes, you know?
So bottom line, basically, he's wondering if he's in the wrong for not helping her out because he was just trying to de-stress. I mean, the real question is, like, could you not have just taken the 15 samosas with you? Like, if samosas help you that much?
Like,
do people not have takeaway boxes?
I feel like I really want to find this man and find where these samosas are, because I've never heard of someone de-stressing with samosas. So whatever they are, whatever they've got.
I haven't heard about these.
Yeah, literally, even I have not had these
and
before.
I'm Asian, so I feel like I would know.
Bloody hell. So yeah, are they infused with some sort of herb like ashwagandha in them, or like a bit of turmeric infusion, like just like mellows
like
you
what's
out?
going on there, buddy?
Like how stressed were you on a scale of 1 to 10? Because it seems like, you know, the way you're acting, if you didn't de-stress, then it would have been World War III. So maybe it was really imperative that he had these samosas so he could de-stress and, you know, function as normal. You don't know, but I think they're both at fault. I think she didn't tell him really that was the issue.
But the thing is, if the guy sat there, how is she supposed to say, like, babe, he's making...
But I'm not being funny. Like, we can communicate in a way that has no words.
They obviously don't have that.
Yeah, so
he's obviously an idiot.
So you're obviously not in a relation. Like, you only have to give the person the look.
I feel like in that type of situation, all I would literally have to go to you is like,
yeah, literally, and I'll be like,
But I would think in most of those situations, I wouldn't even need to do that. You would just be like, "Can you shut up, mate?"
Literally.
Like, did anyone ask you to be here?
Like, sir, why are you so close? There's like 10 seats over there.
Like, I think somebody over there is calling you sir.
I'm trying to have a thing with my lady here. I'm eating all samosas. She's not.
This is a samosa date, sir.
Actually, I'm trying to de-stress here, bro. You're ruining my vibe. Pura vida.
Pura vida. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Thanks. So yeah, like she kind of like expected him to know that she felt uncomfortable without telling him, but then at the same time, that bro, like, there's samosas.
Yeah.
You could have literally, like you said, you could take them home.
You could just take them home.
And like, what were they? Giant samosas?
Like, why is he out here acting like it's a ribeye steak?
He's like, you must have paid, like, I'm guessing it's America, 10, 20 bucks. Like,
yeah, probably.
How much are 15 samosas?
Not a lot. I feel like you can probably get a few samosas here for a few quid.
The only way it's credible, his actions are credible, is if these samosas really are like the holy grail of de-stressing. He's had like the worst week ever. His whole family's just been hit by a bus.
I understand that he wants to de-stress. That I don't negate. But like, your girl's in trouble, G. Like
that holds precedence over de-stressing, though. Surely you can like just take this little bit of stress, add it to the stress you've already got, and deal with the stress after you've dealt with this thing. If your girl feels like she's like, in danger, sort out the
then
situation.
It's it's kind of like you're...
Throw one of the samosas at the guy's head or something.
She's like tag teaming you in. Come on, help me.
Maybe she needed a samosa, calm her down a
maybe,
bit.
Exactly. Maybe you should have offered her a samosa.
Yeah, maybe she needed you to feed it.
And you seemed more into the samosas and the guy probably thought she was single.
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't leave him for the guy next to her.
Well,
that's probably why he tried to smooth in. He's like, this guy's with his chick, but he must not be with her.
He's really with the samosas.
He's with the samosas. I see the way he's like picking them up, looking at her and savouring every bite. Might be because his mouth's dry too, I don't know. Does look like an awful big plate as well. I wouldn't really order 15 for myself. And he's thinking, maybe they've argued, because I'm sure maybe that's to share.
I feel like I want to find out what this bar is so I can just ask, was there any sauce served with them?
Innit?
Because if there wasn't, can I suggest that you do serve some?
Especially when someone's ordering 15. Maybe 15. If it's like 1 or 2, you can get away with.
And he's in a bar. Why didn't he get a drink?
15 samosas is just weird to order anyway, though. Even if you're sharing, that's 7 each. Like, and that's coming from me. I could easily eat 10. But you wouldn't. It's not something like, it's a great thing, but you don't want loads of them. You want like 4 max.
Yeah.
Even if they're small.
4 to 5.
Do you know what I mean?
4 to 5.
4 to 5.
If they're like little ones, you could probably get away with eating 5 easily. I had like 3 spring rolls yesterday, and they were like about this big.
Yeah. See, healthy amounts. Don't need more. You don't need no more than that.
I could have eaten like more, but
Got a both for coming up, so you got to keep that.
Got to keep it tight.
No comment.
Tight.
No comment. No comment. What? That's what I thought. Yeah. Channel 4's on some crud,
I have seen this.
Channel 4's actually on some crud.
I have actually seen this. The naked attraction thing, with the kids.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start with that. Like, my mind is blown.
Did you ever watch because it's called Naked Education, isn't it? But it's from the show Naked Attraction. Did you ever watch that?
I never really watched an episode, but I think like when I was flicking channels, I've seen what it is. Is it when they show like bits and parts of like a person's body to someone and they see if they like it or not?
Yeah, so it's like a dating kind of situation. So it's like 5 or 6 people behind the screen, and then there's like the data. So they come and they stand there, and it's like all lit up, and they're behind these like colourful screen thingies. So there's like a blue one, a yellow one, a pink one, purple, So they don't know anything about them, but they can ask them questions and stuff. And then slowly, like, there's levels. The thingy screens come up, so you can see like their legs, then their knees, then like their crotch, then their stomach. So obviously, bit by bit, the person's being revealed. Obviously, big reveal is like you can see their fannies or dicks, and then you can see if they're women tits kind of thing. But then there's like I don't know the name of the presenter, but she's like, oh, like, so what do you like about this person's breasts or this person's arse or their testicles or their vaginas, or what do you prefer? It's very like about the person's body more than anything else. You know what I mean?
So it's very...
Yeah, because the idea is like, play on words, naked attraction. You're just attracted to the bare person.
Yeah, not the...
not the person...
Okay.
Anything else. So it's it's an interesting concept. I see the angle. Should it be on TV at all? No. Would it have been on TV 10 years ago? No.
Absolutely not.
And now that they've got a version where they're showing 14 to 16-year-olds exactly the
Adult
same
people's
thing.
body. Yeah, that's a solid
The
no.
thing is, yeah, 14 to 16-year-olds have seen dicks and penises. I'm sorry.
They have.
Do you
That's
know what I
true.
mean? They've seen it.
Hmm.
However, they've seen it. Like every kid has Googled dicks. Every kid has Googled
But
vaginas.
every kid has done that. But I think the vast majority of children have
Come on,
seen some image or picture of something around that realm.
they've all seen it. They've all seen it. So why do you need to parade adults? Not just not just straight adults, lesbian, gay, bi, transgender adults as well in front of 14 and 16-year-olds.
I think they just want to normalize it. I think they just want to normalize like pedophilia, because essentially they're exposing themselves to a child. That's the way I'm looking at it.
It's illegal. Let's go out on the street and you get your fanny out and I'll get my dick out to a 16-year-old. That's illegal, no?
That's what I mean. You're
So
exposing yourself to someone underage.
so even in this setting, it's still illegal, no?
Mm. It should be.
Like, oh, let me do a show about drugs, and in the show I'm gonna document the effects of doing drugs, and in that show I'm gonna do 10 lines of cocaine in front of everyone. Well, that would be illegal, no? It doesn't matter if it's on a show.
Yeah.
It's still illegal.
Mm.
So what they do? What's the purpose of this program? Is it to educate these kids, or is it to blur the line between, like you said, paedophilia?
Yeah,
You know,
for
what's
sure.
illegal and what's legal, and also what's acceptable on TV.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're doing. The, you know, I think the reason like a lot of this stuff's being pushed is because they're trying to normalize it,
For real.
and they're trying to. I said this absolutely ages ago. I was like, if they're allowing people to identify as anything, um, without their, other than what they feel, based on what they feel, um, then people can say, well, oh, I don't feel 50, I feel
Mhm.
6. Like there was that story of that man, I think he's in Canada or something, where he was like 50 something years old and decided he was like a 6-year-old or
Right.
an 8-year-old or something, or something. Yeah, I think he decided he was 6, and then some couple adopted him and let him dress up like a little 6-year-old girl, I think it was potentially, and like hang out with their granddaughter.
God.
Now who's like, he's probably just a pedo, thinking of a really clever way to get
Probably
close
just
to
a
kids.
pedo.
Yeah. And the reality is, if he actually genuinely thinks he's 6 years old, well, then he needs to check into a mental institute,
Mm.
because he's obviously not 6 years old, because he's lived a life of 50 years of life.
Yeah.
Like nothing about you is 6 years old.
So how can like you're
So and I think this is just kind of in the same kind of realm, like because exactly the way it's exactly how I said it. The way I think of it is, it's just adults exposing themselves to kids.
Mm.
First of all, as an adult, why would you be comfortable
Why
with
would you
that?
exactly?
And second of all, whose parents would allow their child to do that, to be part of something like that? That's just weird.
There's just so many question marks around the whole thing. There's the question marks over the show and why it is what it is. Question marks that why have the parents allowed their kids to be on this show and do that? Like, would you not be more comfortable if you wanted? Let's say these parents genuinely wanted to educate their children.
Mm.
Your mum and dad, show them your dick and fanny. Do you know? Do you know what I mean?
I guess you could.
Like, no, would that not be more? That's a more mature, safer kind of setting because you're not pedos, you're the parents. Surely that's more your duty if that's how you feel that you want to educate them. Show them yourself. Hi, this is what a male penis looks like. See, it's got pubes. Yours hasn't got it yet. Here's mum's. This is what hers looks like. Like,
I mean, yeah, I guess you could go down that road.
I still think it's weird. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I'm not saying that's what I think is the right thing to do, but
But if you're so invested in helping my kid, yeah, I guess
rather than putting it to a stranger who you don't know what their intentions
tension
are.
is,
Like
yeah.
they could be pedophiles. They could be doing it for sexual degeneracy, and they're getting a kick out of it. And you've like exposed your kid as part of this thing where they're getting a kick out of it.
Yeah. I think it's super weird. I think, if they can show it to 14 to 16-year-olds, then who's to show it? They won't show it to younger people.
One's 13 next,
and
and 12.
where's the line? Like, where do you draw the line? If say, for example, if I was like 15 and walking down the street and some man got his dick out and showed it to me, that would, that's an offense.
Literally.
he would probably go to jail for that or something.
He'd be getting community and put on the sex register at least.
Because that's inappropriate. And I think, yeah, I think that the whole, obviously we've not watched the show and we don't know the exact in and out details of how it's going to work. But I imagine it's not that different
to the naked attraction, yeah.
But it's just a wild concept. Like, who thought that was a good idea? If you're so concerned, if you're so concerned about like educating kids, there's lots of other ways of doing it.
Yeah.
There's like so many other ways of doing it, other than just showing them like the bits of, you could just show them pictures if you really wanted to. And then it doesn't need to involve actual people. That's what I mean. Like, it's just weird. The fact that it's like live people and that are exposing themselves is weird. If you want to educate, if you want to really educate them, you could even get like pictures. There's AI now who can generate pictures. AI could generate all the pictures in the sun for you to show them all the different types of penises and all the different types of breasts and vaginas and armpits and all these other parts of their body or whatever. So that could happen. But you chose to use
holes.
Yeah, exactly. You could use anything, but you've chosen to use humans whose intention you don't know, and it's just weird. It's so strange, and
You're breaking the law by doing this.
I would be really intrigued to know like what some of the child protection charities think of this, because I think that's very weird.
I assume there was outrage with that being put on TV.
I would hope so, because if there wasn't, then I feel like we're in a very question mark place in society.
Yeah.
Because that's a little bit worrying. And yeah, I actually can't get over the fact that parents thought that was a good idea. Like, yeah, of course you can, kiddo.
Yeah.
Go check out some
They're just
dicks.
doing it for clout. Then parents are just doing it for clout. It's like the whole like, oh, this whole it's trendy to be like alternative in that way. Do you know what I mean? Look how liberal we are.
It's very Jonesy, isn't it?
Yeah, look
it's
how
very
liberal
Jonesy.
we are, and look how much we're so comfortable with like teaching our kids about transgenderism and lesbians and gays and that community. Like, we stand with them, and like
the thing is, you can support that. You can support, people having different sexual preferences, such as being interested in men, women, etc.
Yeah.
But like, you don't have to put your kid in a position like that to show that it's like these parents who take their kids to drag shows. You could support the drag community, but you don't need to take your kid
to it.
Because that's highly inappropriate.
Like, you go to it with your friends.
Exactly, you go there with your friends.
If you care that much about it, that's exactly what they want.
Or make a donation to like a charity that represents them,
literally,
or something.
Literally,
but you don't need to take your kid, because children are very, they're like sponges.
Yeah.
They take on whatever you show them or teach them. So they might think that like that's normal, and maybe when they get a bit older, they're approached by someone who behaves inappropriately towards them, and they think it's normal because they've had someone,
but their boundaries have been eradicated by their parents.
Yeah, 100%. Because in some of the videos that I've seen, they're like doing sexy dances, and
with like fake tits out and like G-strings and stuff.
Yeah,
and like,
it's so inappropriate, and it's like, what are you actually teaching your kid here? And if your child was actually in a situation where they were in danger in this way, or they were being sexually challenged, your child would not know the difference, because you haven't taught them the difference, because you've taught them that this is okay. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's a real shame that a lot of people are kind of like not really using their brain in that way.
That's the thing. It's all this is really is just like they're blurring the lines between like what is acceptable and what isn't. And you can see with every day that goes on, they're pushing the boundaries further and further.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're going to even more of an extreme every time you see something. It's like, like I mentioned earlier, like you wouldn't have found that on TV 10 years ago.
No.
But it's on TV now. Do you know what I mean?
And the whole movement is that pedophiles are now trying to say they're part of the LGBTQIA community, because they're saying that it's their sexual preference.
It's a preference.
That children are a sexual preference, and that again is also just like a really weird, a really weird thing to say and a really weird thing to push, because a lot of people do support that. And this kind of makes you think, like, are you guys in on that? Like, do you guys think that also?
So you're obviously a pedo as well, then, for you to think, because any self-respecting human being would disagree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Especially if they've got kids.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? How like imagine thinking that is you classify it as a sexual preference. So you're saying actually it's okay then.
Mm-hmm. That's what they're trying
to
push.
So then I hope that the people that say it's okay, I hope they don't have children.
Yeah.
Because their parents are probably pedos themselves. Do you know what I mean?
That's a sad reality, yeah.
It's like a disease. It's like a disease, man.
You just can't escape it. It's like
Like look
spreading.
at the Dalai Lama.
Oh, that was so disgusting. Oh my God, that was so disgusting. And how? And how? Oh my God. First of all, I just always had a bad feeling about him.
He's
I,
got creepy. He's got icky
he
vibes,
just
isn't
got,
it?
you just get, it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's got like slime vibes.
yeah,
Everything
yeah,
about him is
yeah,
just
yeah.
like slimy and gross. And every time I ever like saw anything about him or heard about him, I was just like, ew, just no. And second of all, that whole video where he's like, you can see the child is so uncomfortable. He's
Literally,
like flinching a
like
little bit, like,
yeah.
oh, I don't want to be here, I don't want to do this. And then he tells him like, oh yeah, suck my tongue. And how is not one single person in the
Everyone's
room
just watching it
outraged? Not
like
one
it's
single
normal.
person outraged.
But that's the thing. These people are so like mesmerized by this figure. Do you know what I mean? This spiritual religious leader that they something like that can happen in front of their face
Mm,
and they don't see it. Do
yeah,
you know what I mean? They're just there like in awe, like, oh my god, I'm in a room with the Dalai Lama, like I can't believe it.
yeah,
And they don't notice it. It's
yeah.
nuts.
I saw like some people commenting on like the video and like trying to defend it and saying like, oh, in their culture it's normal to stick out your tongue. It's like a way of greeting, because there was someone who had like a black tongue and he was bad, so it's kind of like a way of showing that like you're not bad. And then the person who'd like done the post was like, that's completely different to what he just did. He's asking a 5-year-old or whatever
To
old he
suck
was
his
to
tongue.
suck his tongue. That's gross.
Like, while
uh
sticking it out as well, like
yeah,
stuck my tongue.
yeah, literally just gross, absolute gross human being. And then also had the audacity. The Dalai Lama actually had the audacity to come and like try and defend himself, saying, "Oh, I was just playing around." No, you weren't. You were being a pedo, and you're realizing that people have caught you doing it, because this is not an age where you can kind of get away with these kind of things. Social media is everywhere, and
Mm.
people are everywhere, and people got eyes, and we can all see what you're doing, and it's disgusting. And we're not going to believe that you were just playing around, because you look like a pedo.
Yeah, and you act like a pedo,
So we're
you
thinking you're
talk
a
like a
pedo.
pedo, and you walk like a pedo. I'm guessing you're a pedo.
But yeah, that's just gross. And it's going to be intriguing to see how, like, if that news reaches any further, if anyone else has any comments or things on it, because it is a little weird.
The thing is, for people that have eyes to see, 100%, but they're already awake to it all. Do you know what I mean? People like
Yeah.
us, we see that, we know exactly what it is. We'll call it out. We had reserves about him anyway. And now I'm just like, well, the proof's in the pudding. Here's the
Mm.
physical evidence now. I've seen it with my own eye. But people that are disillusioned to it all, they'll make excuses like the person about, oh,
And
it's
also,
in the culture.
how brazen that you've behaved like that on camera, which
Literally.
tells me I can only imagine what you behave like
But
off camera.
yeah,
Because you obviously think you're protected, because no one's going to run the story, or no, you're not going to get cancelled anywhere for behaving that way, which tells me that all your friends, which think you're great, and if you think about all the people that talk about Dalai Lama being amazing, all the elites, because all the celebrities know him, all the people in power know him, they're all buddies. Um, and he knows he's going to get away with it, and he knows that this this
yeah,
this happens behind closed doors anyway, and no one's going to slew him, because he'll probably turn around and have similar evidence about other people. It's like they're all in this giant club together, being
literally.
pedos together. It's disgusting.
That's how arrogant they are. They all think they're untouchable.
Yeah, and you know what else was interesting? The Philip Schofield thing. Where
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
where he like a couple of years
Groomed a
ago,
9-year-old.
was it 9 or 13
He
or
was
something?
9, and when he come out, he was 15, I think.
Oh wow, no, he's 15.
Yeah, yeah, but
That's
he's
so,
grooming him from 9. You know when you showed me the Twitter post from 2011, he
yeah.
was 9 then.
No
Yeah, yeah,
way. So he was a little kid.
yep.
Yeah, that whole situation was disgusting. And how, obviously, because he's a person in the news and the media, da 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 da, they just spun it out as him coming out as gay.
Mm,
But actually, the kid was going to go public with a story,
yeah,
and obviously that got shut
got
down,
squashed.
squashed. No one wanted to run it. But interestingly enough, in America, like Perez Hilton and Joan Collins and a few other people were like sat around talking about like the whole situation between him and the 15-year-old kid, and saying like, oh yeah, you've come out as gay now, but why now? Like
Mm,
you're married, you've got a wife, you've got kids. But it's just interesting timing, though. You're bringing this out at the same time as this kid saying it, and apparently people at the network knew
yeah,
that he was doing this, putting a complaint about it.
and nothing.
Well, I think the lady, I think she was called like Ruth Langsford. I think maybe she's off Loose Women or something. And she put a complaint into ITV, and then got the kid moved from being a runner on his show this morning to her show, which was Loose Women. But I'm guessing stuff was still going on in the background and stuff. And there was also a picture of him, the kid, with like another person which is friends with Philip Schofield, and he was the one that was running the program that allowed Philip to go to the school to meet the kids. It was like a theatre program, and there's a picture of him sat with a kid, and it looks so inappropriate. Like, maybe not inappropriate, but it just doesn't look like this is a kid that, like, it looks very comfortable considering you're an adult and that's a child that you're not related to. And the way kind of like he's looking at him and stuff is just, it's a bit creepy. So yeah, it's just interesting because obviously in America they didn't know that how the media was spinning it over here, and they just told it how it was. They were like, it looks like improper conduct to me. But yeah, it feels like there's a lot of that going on. And I feel like people are getting more and more brazen with it now because they know that they're untouchable, or because the media's not going to run it.
Yeah, it's because they're all in the same club. The media's owned by the same people that are involved in it as well, and they're all just protecting each other. You know, it's kind of like if your neck's on the line, then our necks will be on the line. So we kind of have to work together to squash it all.
Yeah.
And look at the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. Like, no one's gone to prison for that. That says it all.
Yeah.
There's a whole list.
Apparently Ghislaine just trafficked all these children to nobody.
Yeah, literally. There's a whole list of people that were my clients, but we're not going to worry about that. I'll just do my time. We'll just worry about, trying to put Trump in prison.
But how do they even get away with that? And how do they actually get away with that? Obviously, someone said to the judge, if you release that list, you're dead. Because you saw what happened to the other lady.
They ever get hush money or threats, I guess, but for the majority of times it's hush money, I would assume.
And I guess what would you even do in that situation? Because they really did shoot like loads of people and kill loads of people, and
it's a tough one. Like you're a Supreme Judge, right? You get given this case. The case lasts 3 years.
Yeah.
Right. You get to the final hearing where you're going to give your decision. A week before that, a man comes to your house with a gun and says, "I'm going to kill your wife and your 5 kids, all your dogs, and your nan and granddad, your mother-in-law." Has pictures of them all that were like outside their houses where it's clear that they've been stalking them, and says, "If you don't drop this case, I will kill them." And then they show you pictures of other people that they've killed. What do you do? Do you stand up? Do you hold the integrity of the law? Or
the thing is, you're not going to get a chance to, because you're not going to make it alive. Exactly. You're going to die.
Oh, and we'll kill you too.
Yeah.
Or do you want to take 10 million and shut the fuck up? You take 10 million and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Every time. I'm sorry. Do you know what I mean?
It's a tough one. It's a really...
What do you do?
Yeah, because your hands are tied.
Yeah.
They literally
and
are.
That's the power they have.
It's so sad, man.
And that's what they do to the people that don't cooperate. Do you know what I mean? The first offer is take the money. Most probably do.
Yeah, and I bet like, because there was that other judge. Was she a judge or someone? And she got shot, or did her family get shot up in the house?
Her husband and the son got shot in the
like execution style.
Yeah.
But she was left, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And I'm guessing she probably said, "No, I'm not taking your money," and then they punished her by doing so. And that, and that was probably a message to everyone else as well. Like, this is what happens if you oppose us.
Because they all know it happens as well. Do you know what I mean? No one's stupid.
Yeah.
It's in black and white. It's like, oh, it's a coincidence, is it? That your family's being killed? Of course it's not. Yeah. Everyone's thinking, shit, I could be next.
It's so peak.
That's how the game works. Is the justice system is the just us system.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's one rule for us and one rule for you, or no rules for us and all the rules for you.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is.
It's got nothing to do.
That's literally what I thought when I was studying law.
Yeah.
That actually it's not how they make it out. It's not actually not fair for everyone. And it's very unethical, a lot of it.
It's about who you know, how much money you have, and how much influence and power you have.
It's literally just how much money you've got. Yeah. Whoever's got the most money wins.
Yeah.
And that's just how it always is.
Law. Justice,
peace.
What can we do, eh?
That's just where we're at, I guess.
that's just where we're at, I guess.
Maybe we'll just jump in one of those like freezing chambers and wait till this all blows over.
I don't know if I fancy the odds of that, to be honest.
See where society's in like 1,000 years.
It's a big gamble, isn't it? You either wake up to paradise or you wake up to like no humans and robots everywhere. I don't think there's any. Or you wake up to nothing. Dun, dun,
I could work with nothing.
Yeah.
As long as there's a few seeds somewhere, a few animals, and you're there, we're good.
I guess we can make that work. That's pretty much what we're gunning for, anyways. There might not be anything. That's fine.
That's okay.
In
We'll make the paradise.
Paradise is here on Earth.
It can be done.
Let's do it.